Croatia is a long country that hugs the Adriatic Sea, but did you know that it is broken in two parts via another country, Bosnia and Herzegovina? Neum is the only town in Bosnia and Herzegovina which sits on the coast. When travelling between Dubrovnik and Split, unless you wish to journey by ferry between the mainland and Croatia's islands, you have to cross the border into Bosnia and Herzegovina. Any other day, I would have been delighted with the prospect of crossing borders, but in an era of COVID, where both countries have strict COVID entry requirements, how easy would it be? Today, I'm about to make the lengthy drive from Dubrovnik to Split. It's an estimated 4-hour drive along Croatia's gorgeous coastline, passing through numerous towns as well as a brand new country. I am nervous. Will the border crossing be easy or challenging? Join me to find out all you need to know about the Neum crossing. Good morning, it's our final morning in Dubrovnik. This morning we are actually going to be checking out of our apartment and starting the drive down to Split. Last night I was awoken in the middle of the night by a vicious storm. I just hoped that the weather today would fare better. An over 200-kilometre drive would not be ideal in stormy conditions. I was sad to leave Dubrovnik behind. I truly had a remarkable time in this historical city, but at the same time I was excited to see more of Croatia. We drove till we reached the small village of Slano, where we decided to stop for some breakfast. Slano is halfway between Dubrovnik and Bosnia and Herzegovina, making it an ideal rest stop. Slano is a peaceful village, nestled in a quiet bay surrounded by mountains. With only a handful of eateries, it was a great opportunity to see a village which wasn't firmly planted on Croatia's tourist path. However, as soon as we arrived, heavy rain started to fall, meaning we likely didn't see Slano in all her glory. I had hoped that by the time I devoured a croissant and mug of warm tea, that the rain would have died down. In fact, the opposite happened.
What a day for a road trip.
The storm was refusing to lose its grip on the village, forcing us to shelter in the café for close to 2 hours. Our already tight schedule was feeling impossible, and so we eventually took a chance and braved the storm in order to get back on the road. But driving in torrential rain on a coastline surrounded by crumbling cliffs is not the best idea.
I think they're flashing us. You started flashing me. What did that mean? Yeah, maybe just rocks. Signal saying going around the rocks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good as a flash.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the sky soon cleared, and we were greeted by sunnier weather. We had a quick stop for some supplies before we continued our adventure. Soon, we were passing the town of Ston, famous for its medieval town walls, which were easily visible from the road. The walls are far larger than those of Dubrovnik, and are in fact the largest walls in the whole of Europe. The town is also renowned for its mussels. We passed numerous mussel farms, identified by the rows of buoys in the ocean. Then we reached the border with Bosnia and Herzegovina. The Neum crossing, as it's called, is so popular with Croatians that Bosnia and Herzegovina made a special exception to their COVID rules for those travelling through here. You can pass with no restrictions on 2 conditions. 1, you do not leave your car at all in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and 2, you make the crossing in under an hour. At each border checkmark, your passport is scanned, so they're able to time how long your crossing takes. Driving through Bosnia and Herzegovina, I felt sad that I wouldn't be able to stop here today. The architecture and vibe in the coastal town of Neum was notably different to Croatia, and I was dying to see more of it. The crossing had been far easier than I'd anticipated. Even so, a bridge is under construction to attach mainland Croatia to the closest island, meaning crossing borders won't always be necessary if you're making a similar drive in future. We soon reached the border and found ourselves in Croatia once more. I was grateful I'd had a glimpse of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was somewhere I was keen to come back to and see properly. The part of Croatia we had now found ourselves in felt completely different to the Croatia we had left behind. We found ourselves overlooking the Neretva Valley, a fertile valley flanking the Neretva River. This unique area of land is used for planting countless crops, including mandarins and watermelons. We passed numerous roadside stalls selling fresh produce which had been grown here. As well as being home to over 310 species of bird, the Neretva River is home to eels. Eel and frog are a popular source of food in this valley. Glancing at my map, I saw we were approaching a town called Ploče. I'd been planning on stopping off at a town beginning with the letter P and figured this must have been it. We parked up and began to search for a bakery or restaurant. I used Google Maps, which navigated me down eerily quiet back streets. Every shop or café we encountered was closed, and we didn't pass a single person in the streets. I felt a little on edge, unable to ignore the strange vibes that the area seemed to be sending off. Eventually, we retreated to the car, only to then discover that Ploče was not the place I had planned on visiting at all. Our journey commenced, passing Croatia's Baćina lakes. There are 7 freshwater lakes, covering an area of 138 hectares. After a brief drive inland, we were once again driving up Croatia's beautiful coastline. Before long, we were approaching the town of Podgora, the place I had always planned on stopping at for a bite to eat. It's been a long day of driving. We're currently eating in a little village called Podgora. We've been on the road a very long time. I think there's only an hour and 40 minutes to go after this, so hopefully not too much longer. The restaurant which we had chosen was called Vruja, popular for its fresh fish. Okay, food has arrived. I have a fish.
You have an entire fish? Wow.
I have an entire fish. The restaurant was also popular with an adorable little cat who made claim to one of the restaurant's tables before falling asleep there. It was time to get back on the road and complete the final stretch of the drive. It was now past 5 p.m. The drive was taking far longer than I'd ever anticipated. There was still some way to go until we finally reached our destination of Trogir town, just past Split. Finally arrived at a new place in the town of Trogir. It only took 9 hours to get here from Dubrovnik. Man, I'm exhausted. I will give you a quick apartment tour before I mess it up. So our apartment's on the ground floor. We have a parking space just outside there. Okay, in we go. Over here we have a nice kitchen area, really nice and modern. The apartment was done 2 years ago. Then over here we have the table and a nice living area with a TV. It's 2 bedrooms, this one, and it has 2 identical bedrooms. Here is bedroom 1, which I think will be the bedroom I take residence in, with some wardrobes. And we've got the second bedroom in here, which is pretty much exactly the same. Here it is. And then we have a bathroom in here, which is nice, modern. This is so cool, I like this mirror. It's got a button. And then it turns on. How cool is that? And there's a toilet. We have a nice shower here. And then, this is so cute. The tiniest little washing machine I've seen, I love it. And final part is we have our own outdoor area here with lovely outdoor seating. We have a barbecue, deck chairs, and then if you see that church in the distance, you can just see that's the centre of Trogir town. It's a 4-minute walk, so it's pretty close. It was the end of a long day, and so we walked down to Trogir to get acquainted with our new local area. We found ourselves wandering the night market, purchasing local produce and just enjoying the ambience. Already I could see myself falling for Trogir. I couldn't wait to see what my next few days in this town would have in store.